I want to thank both of you for being on the show.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Sui and Miyu. Now, our relationship, we have to talk about our relationship because I don't think anyone's going to know how we met each other, but we met each other at the club in the morning, because both of you have morning shift, and I'm usually the only one in there.
Yes.
I come in and you come in there, what, 6:30 in the morning?
6:30 right
6:30 in the morning, yeah. And we come at that time, and then I come in to play my sax, and you two, not together, but at different times, are in there, right? And then I said, come on the show. I want to talk to you and find out something about your lives and what you've been doing. So we can start off, first of all, let's start furthest in. And Miyu, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me where you're born and, you know, all the basic stuff.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Japan. I studied abroad in New Zealand for 1 year when I was 16, so that's where I learned my English. And then after high school, I went to Aoyama Gakuen University here.
But what year was that? What year did you go there? What year would that be?
2011.
Was that 2011? When we had the tsunami.
Yes, so we didn't have any the ceremony or anything.
Because of that?
Yeah.
In the morning, you had to mourn, right? You had to mourn all the people that died, all the things, all the disaster. So yours wasn't COVID. Yours was the Tohoku earthquake.
Yes.
Oh, Yamagakuen. You know, I had my gymnastics mats in there.
Really?
Oh, really?
I sure did. And you know this whole area. Because that's Nihonroku.
Yes, Nihonroku.
Nihonroku, and then the tunnel goes underneath. That's your, you guys have both sides.
Yeah.
Actually. Wow.
But I only went to the university, so.
University, right.
Yeah.
The other ones, because we had our stuff in the high school. The high school's on the other side of that. Is that also elementary?
There's also elementary, middle school too.
And the high school, all of it together, right? And then the university. They own a lot of land over there, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I think so.
Goodness. So so you said when you went to New Zealand, you didn't speak English at all?
Not at all. I was interested, but not good enough to communicate at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sui, tell me about yourself.
My turn.
Tell me about
Okay.
this is like an interview instead of a podcast.
Wait,
it
it's
should
over
really be a
now?
podcast.
Yes.
It's over. We're done. We're done.
So yes, it's my turn. I born and raised in Japan,
Okay.
and most of my life I went to international school in Japan. But I used to live in Hawaii just for a few months, and I also went to Canada once just for, I think that was like summer school. But except that, most of the time I spend whole life in Japan, and I live in Chiba, as you know.
Right.
And one of my best friend, I would say best friend right now, as you know, Thomas from the parking.
That's right.
He invited me to Tokyo American Club, and that's how I know this place where I'm working right now. And that changed my life, and I get to see you. So happy.
Wow.
Yes. And about the college, I went to Temple University, and after I graduated, like I didn't know Tokyo American Club exists in the
And you're right next door
area.
to it, yeah.
Yes, but I'm still using the same station because I went to Temple University, and Temple is also in Atsuhabujuban.
Right.
So it's amazing.
So before Temple, what international school did you go to? Remember, you said you went to international schools all your life.
I don't know if you guys know, but I went to the place called Columbia International School in Tokorozawa.
Tokorozawa, okay.
Higashi Tokorozawa.
How many students were there? Do you know?
I think there's only few. I don't know exact number, but maybe 100 to 200 students.
And it was only Japanese kids?
No, it's very diverse. Like so many people from America. I have a lot of Korean friends as well. So so many. Like even not just Japanese.
So the language base was English? Was that the base?
Based on English.
But you had to speak Japanese still?
No, we're not allowed to.
You weren't? I didn't know they had that.
In the school, like we can't use any Japanese.
Okay.
We have a little square in the school, and in that area, like maybe we can speak own language. We have some weird rule, interesting rule in there, but except that, like if we speak own language like Japanese, then like teacher was always
You get penalty somehow or
I
another.
got penalty.
Is that right?
So
How'd you
many
meet
times.
each other? Through the club?
Yes,
Through the
we
club,
met
yes.
at the,
So how long
yeah.
have you known each other?
We first met, I think, when I first joined. So she joined earlier, and then I think I joined 1 year later or something.
How many years has it been now that you've been there?
Almost 2 years for me.
Please, okay.
Yeah.
I'm 3 years.
So almost the same time, yeah.
Yeah.
And you met each other, were you, because you were in the same section?
Kind of. We are in the same recreation department,
Department.
but our offices were different.
Mm-hmm.
But then Corona happened, so the all recreation work together now. So that's
we need
how
to cover
she
different
is.
sections.
Oh, because before then you really were separate, so you didn't get to know each other well.
No.
But with Corona, it actually brought you closer together.
Yes.
How has Corona affected you just socially in Japan?
Socially in
Yeah.
Japan.
Well, that's where we are. I guess. What am I talking about? But how's it affected you socially?
Of
Outside
course,
the
like less outing with friends, and it's hard to meet for dinner.
Except our case, this is exception because of Corona. We get together. and
Yeah.
now
We see each
start
other
knowing
every
each
day
other.
now.
Now we became really close friends. So
But you mean only at work?
at work, but we also have some dinner sometimes outside.
Okay.
We hang
So
out,
it's
yeah.
really like getting us closer.
Right. But you don't go to each other's homes
No, but we're
No.
planning. She's invited me to her house.
because that isn't part of the culture. Basically, people don't typically go to each other's homes, do they?
No.
I always welcome. Like you're welcome to come if you want to come to Chiba.
No, but I mean, but really. But they do say that. But when you're living further out of the city, they tend to be
Yes, you're
warmer,
right.
and they do go to each other's place, right? Everyone goes to each other's place. But when you're in the city, you can live next door to someone all your life and never go into their place, right?
Right.
True.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Even your class. So when you went to school, what was it like in school? When you were going to school, elementary school, for example, did you go over to your friends' homes?
Sometimes I
Sometimes I
did,
did,
yeah.
Oh, as kids, you can do that?
Yeah, elementary school, I think it's more common to go to your friend's house and do homework together. Or
Yes.
if you have same, after school program, they meet at somebody's house and then go together or something like
But the
that.
parents won't get together.
Depends.
Depends.
It depends.
My mom never had friends.
She was a lone body. She just did her own thing.
She was like too busy at work, so she's like, you can invite your friends at home, but I'm not gonna.
I'm not going to participate. I'm not interested.
Yeah, I'm just buy snacks and you can just go.
Do you have
and-
brothers and sisters?
I have an older sister. She's
How many years
6
difference?
years
6
older
years.
than me.
Okay. What about yourself?
I have a younger brother,
How many years?
8
8
years
years.
younger. Yeah.
Wow.
Are you close with your brother and sister? I mean, are you close
Yeah.
with your sister?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Because I find sometimes I don't know about the Japanese family so much as I do the foreign families. And a lot of times, and you see them too, a lot of the kids will bicker with each other and not tend to be friends. But then they wait till they're older, then they sometimes come together.
I think that's a typical Japanese family.
The same thing?
I think my image of Japanese family is
Okay.
more strict parents, tends to have a strict parents, and siblings are not that close. But I think because we grew up in international environment, maybe that's why our family is also like tied to each other more.
Okay.
I think so. What do you think?
I mean, in my case, the age gap really helps because
True.
if you're close, you want the same thing, like you fight over the same thing, but we're different gender, we're many years apart, so our interest in it doesn't
They don't clash. They don't
Yeah,
clash.
exactly.
Were you protective of him and like this is my little brother and
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I'm proud of him, and he's a really sweet, younger brother, and
Oh,
yeah, I
that's so
helped him
sweet.
with his.
That's so nice. Do you feel that way about your sister?
Yes, she always protect me whenever I have a hard time. She always be a big sister for me. Yeah, we still hang out with each other. Yes, a lot.
Is she married by any chance?
She's married.
So
We have a daughter.
so you're an aunt.
Yes.
Okay.
28 auntie.
Auntie. So she had a daughter. So you have a little daughter, a little niece.
Yes, yes,
You have a
so
little niece.
cute.
Wow. Your brother, and of course, he's still in school, right?
Yes, he's third year of university now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do your parents do? Do you mind me asking what your parents do?
Well, my mom is the busier one, I should say. So she works like 2 different jobs, and actually so does my dad at the moment. But his work was also affected by Corona, so it kind of changed things a little bit. But yeah, they both work.
How did it change? You mean he has to be home more, or?
He basically had to change his job.
Okay, because of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So how's he taking it?
Well, so he is from Kagawa Prefecture, so he's not from Tokyo. And our grandma, his mom, lives there alone by herself. So he might move there. He might find a job there so he can be with her.
Right.
Yeah. So
And that's not
it's
unusual
in
in
the
Japan.
planning stage.
Like your mother would be with you guys, and your father would be in his hometown.
Yeah, some cases.
A lot of cases. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not unusual in Japan,
Not
right?
unusual.
And they stay married, and the relationship's still
yeah.
good, and that's really interesting, I think. But that's not uncommon. But isn't it also true that a lot of times the kids, when they're going to school, sometimes will live away from their parents in an apartment by themselves at a young age?
Yeah, like 18.
Yeah.
When
18,
they
18?
go into university or college. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's when.
That's not so bad. But I thought even younger than that. It's not like in high school anytime? Or?
Sometimes the parents put the kids in like school dorms, for example.
Oh, okay, that's like, okay, we do that
sports,
instead. Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's interesting. What about your parents? They did okay?
So my mom is very creative person. She's doing balloon art job. Do you know like what kind of job is that?
Balloon art.
Balloon art. It's pretty much like literally making like balloon.
Oh, you mean when they're making
Like
the dogs, the puppies, and all that stuff, tying them up in nuts, making the long one?
Making big art. Have you seen that before?
No, you have to show me a picture of that. Matter of fact, I want to be able to put that in this podcast.
I think I can find one from my mom.
I'd like to see a balloon art.
Balloon art.
I want to put that in this podcast, just like the beautiful breakfast we had. And your manners are so nice. You guys are so nice. Did you go to etiquette school or something?
No, my parents told me.
Okay. No. I think the pictures will show.
Yeah, we should show that picture.
You will.
How well mannered we are.
It's up right now. Yeah. All right. So you didn't go. I mean, sometimes like in England, they have etiquette schools for kids. Did you ever do anything like that? Was there anything like that?
I'm sure there are, but I didn't go to one.
You didn't go to one.
Me neither.
Well, I don't know anybody who went to that kind of school.
But still, the Japanese structure is so structured that the kids all have to. When I first came to Japan, a word I heard all the time was ware ware. You don't hear it anymore.
What are you sorry?
Ware ware.
Like we?
No.
That's what I heard all the time. You don't hear it anymore, but it's still taught. We do this together. We must. Yeah, you still have to do that in schools. It's taught from elementary throughout the country. Am I correct? Throughout the country, all the systems basically the same. It doesn't matter if you're going to Keio or to a public. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
From yoichien, all the way to shogakko, it's basically the same. Then it changes, right? In shugakko and koko, then it changes. Then you might see a difference in the structure. But at the beginning, we do it together. Everyone has to clean the same thing. You know, no one fails. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And you're taught what it is to be Japanese.
Yes.
Don't you think? Because my kids went to a Japanese school, and that's when I realized, that's the essence of the Japanese spirit. And if you don't go through that system, you'll never understand it.
True.
All the parents must take turns to supervise the school after school. Someone must stand at the guard wall.
Yes.
But everyone has to. If you have a kid in the school, even the parents have to participate. Right?
Yes, true.
See?
Yes.
So all that creates a unifying effect where you feel like we're in this together. And I mean, this is your podcast, but still, I've spent a little bit more time here than you have.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You've been here
How
28
many-
years, right?
28.
And
yes.
you've been
Same.
here
Yeah.
28 years.
years.
I've been here 48 years.
Oh.
So I know your country better than you do.
Senpai.
Right. So actually, you can ask me. It's curious. On this, you said you were going to ask me when we were having breakfast. You wanted to ask me some questions. You were curious because we don't know
Yes.
each other well. You just see me in the morning, and I'm curious to know what you want to ask, what you're curious about, and about everything, including my home, because we're in my home now. We're in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
There's one question came up this morning.
Only
right?
one? Okay, good.
I mean, I'm about to ask, but we just save it for this podcast.
What was that?
So we were talking about the money, and you remember that?
That's right. That's right.
And I personally start thinking these days. I don't know if I really want to earn more money, because in Japanese culture, I don't know if this is a Japanese cultural thing, but for me personally, I think earning money is bad thing. I don't want to think that way, but I taught by my parents, or like cultural. I don't know the reason, but I tend to think this way. So I want to know what would you think about what is money?
Okay.
What do you think about money?
Okay.
That's my question.
Before I answer that, how do you see money? How do you think of it? What is money in your mind? When someone says you're going to make money, or what does that idea make you think?
For me, it's just it's necessary. It's definitely necessary, just to live and just daily life. But right now I'm working and I pay my rent and do everything by myself, and I don't have any problem with money. So I feel like I don't need more money than now. That's my point. So what I think about money is it's necessary, but at the same time it's just a tool to buy something I want. So if I don't feel it's not worth it, then I don't want that money. Mm-hmm. I wanna work this money more for people, or just, I don't know, just for fun. So if it's worth it in that way, like talking to people, then I would prefer in a way, I love money, but if it's not working for, I don't know, helping people, then I don't know, it's just still I'm thinking about what money means. But yeah, I just want to know you guys' perspective.
Okay, I was going to ask me, so I won't say anything before then, because you might try to copy me. What's your feeling?
I could never copy.
How do you think of money? How do you think of it?
Yeah, I think I agree on some points that Shui said. It's a tool to do what you want to do, whether it's for yourself or for other people. And another thing, I don't know, because we work and then we get paid. That's our whole system, and that's how we make money. But I come from a volunteer background. So after I graduated university, I spent 1 year to save money and then go into this non-profit organization called the Young Americans. So we travel the world, go into schools and different communities. We spend 3 days to teach kids singing and dancing and put together a 1 hour show. And that was volunteer. So of course all the costs were already covered by the organization. We didn't get paid for what we did. So from there, going into this normal society where I work and get paid, it's very hard to define what's the worth, how much is worth what, and how much I do is worth how much money.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page.
That's why I'm
we always talk about this kind of financial problem. It's
and we do
problem.
study about money and we're
yes.
always searching for information, how to, I don't know, make the most of what we have, and also not to waste, or how to take care of our money. But at the same time, I don't know, we're curious what other people think.
Okay, to answer your question, how I see money and how I think of it. Well, I used to be an investment consultant while I was in the service my last 2 years, and also once I got out. for a while. I was still an investment consultant. And the people that trained us basically asked all of us how many, I remember them asking a question, there were about 15 of us in the room, and he said, how many of you want to be millionaires? So all of us raised our hands. And then he asked, what are you going to do with that money once you get it? And basically, I always thought you're supposed to save a certain amount, and then you invest an amount, then you start a company. And one guy said that I'm going to take about 50,000 of that $1 million and just party. I'm going to have the best time of my life. And I thought, how dare him say that? He's going to take money and have a good time? That's not right. You're not supposed to have a good time. But it felt good to hear him say that. And he said, then I'm going to take a portion and take care of my parents' property, and I'm going to set up a company, and I'm going to invest some. But the first thing is, I'm going to take that 50,000 and just party. He figured that's what it would take for him to enjoy the fact that now he's a millionaire. Our facilitator, our manager said, all of you are going to be rich. That without a doubt. And none of you want money. You want what it can be exchanged for. Good health care, clothing, shelter, food, travel. If you focus on the money, you'll never have those things. But you need that because that's the exchange most people will accept. But the reason why you can do volunteer work is because that organization took care of the other thing. So they could provide you with the things you don't have to worry about. A place to stay, some food. And then you call it volunteer, but it wasn't really volunteered. You got something for what you did. You just didn't get cash. They took that out of the equation. But you don't want that anyway. No one really does. You could use Bill Gates. He can't use all of that. No matter no matter how long he lives, basically, because he's got it so that it generates itself, basically, with people helping it, computers and algorithms or whatever, that he doesn't have to worry about that. And all of us can do that, but we do want certain things. It could be peace of mind. It could be to study, to travel. But you're going to have something to exchange for it. And the easiest thing to have that everyone will accept is money. Because if the world ran on apples, what would you be trying to collect right now? If you needed a certain amount of apples to get the dress or the necklace you're wearing, or to have your hair permed, what would you do? You need one apple, your hair gets permed. So we shouldn't focus on them. I know that's the wrong thing to think about. What do you want? And what do you need to exchange for it? And sometimes it's never the amount that someone puts on it. See what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. So that's how I look at money. What else did you want to ask? Did I answer your question?
Yes, perfect. That was perfect, actually.
That's how I look at it, basically. And to be honest, I really don't even like touch. I'm not. It's been a long time. I carry money with me only for those rare occasions when I have to actually use the currency to exchange. And yen I don't mind because it tends to be very clean and is not crumbled hardly ever. I found a crumbled bill. But some countries you go to and the money's been handled poorly. But in Japan, all the bills are pretty clean, so I don't worry so much. But I'd rather use a credit card or an IOU or something like that. Good tithing, a gift exchange. But I'm not interested so much in that because you don't need to.
Yeah, people don't use cash anymore these days.
They're starting not to, but Japan's still pretty much a cash-based society, which I do like because then you don't have to worry about there's other things you have to think about.
True.
And it's safe to have money in Japan. Little kids walk around with ichimoney, right? That's $100 in the U.S. And they have that in their pocket just for the daily stuff, and nobody's taking it from them or anything like that happening, right? So it's just, that's another thing about Japan. Any other questions you have? We have another 10, 15 minutes.
I will think about it. Do you have
anything?
Yeah,
so you're curious about?
I want to know what made you stay in Japan for so long.
Oh, I want to know that.
You interested?
Yes.
Sumiyasui dakara.
Oh, of course, yes.
It's so easy to live here. It depends on your personality, but I have a personality where I'm like your mother. I don't have a lot of friends. She had no friends. She had no friends. No. She had friends. You're her friend. Her other daughter's her friend, so that's not a problem. She had all the friends she needs. Her husband's her friend. I'm like that. I didn't need a lot of friends, but the thing I thought about Japan when I came here, I never thought I'd live here. I just never thought about living here. But when I came here, I found the way the people responded to me. I come from a country where I'm not considered to be, what can I say? It's been hard for my people in the country I come from. It's been very difficult. And because of that, you're thinking about it often. And you have reason to, because it's brought up in your face every waking moment. Even while you're sleeping, you're thinking about it. So that's not a comfortable place to be in for me. And it doesn't matter how much money you have there. You're going to run up against it. In this country, I never felt that. And I've been all the way by car and by motorcycle from Wakkanai to Kyushu, to the furthest place in Kyushu. No, I didn't make it all the way in Kyushu on my motorcycle, but I've been through Shikoku. I've been all around Shikoku and all of Honshu by my motorcycle. But by car, I've been on all 4 major islands by car. And then I've been to Okinawa as well, and driven around there. I've never been in a place where I didn't feel I was welcomed here. Wow. I've never. And I travel by myself on my motorcycle all over the place. The further I go and the more rural the area, the warmer the people are. And will take you in their home, give you things. And I love talking. So with my poor Japanese, I go to places and they're just never try to speak, just love speaking. And then I always carry these little, I don't know if you've ever seen the little shot glasses of Johnny Walker and different alcohol. And then I also carry chocolate, wrapped chocolate. So if I've talked with someone for a while, and there's a guy I say, "Osaki suki desu ka? Do you like whiskey?" And there's a guy say, "Hi," and then I'll give him one. And they will go out of their way to find something and come back and give me twice as much. The only thing I don't do, because I'm so animated in the way that I talk and stuff, people assume I'm younger than I am. And most of the time, I'm older than the people I'm talking to. But because of lifestyle or whatever, or their thought pattern, they look older than me. So I don't tell people how old I am. I ask them to guess. And I'll say, "How old do you think I am?" And they'll say, 50歳とか. So
that's what I thought.
That's what they'll say. And I say, "Oh, いいですね." But I'm not lying. I just say it's good, but I don't say they're correct. And I leave it at that. Because why do I want to? I don't want to make anyone feel bad, because they'll start comparing. This guy's riding his motorcycle, 68 years old, and here I am, only 50, 52 or 53. I know I'm older than him. I wouldn't ride a bike. I've had the guys tell me that before, and I made the mistake of saying my age, and he went, and I thought, that's not what I'm riding around for. I'm riding around to feel their spirit, their things, And it's hard to be out there sometimes, because every day working. They had a saying I told you about that you didn't find out in Japan, where they say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
The old style.
You've ever heard that before?
No.
Getsu kasu mo kinkin?
No.
You never heard that? That's a saying they used to use in Japan right after the war, because everyone had to work that hard that they didn't have a Saturday and Sunday. They said they had 2 Mondays and 2 Fridays. And that was a saying they would use.
Wow, that's a nightmare.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it's just the way it was. Everybody was doing it, so nobody felt uncomfortable. You had a few cases like that. So tell me, what do you see happen? How has Corona, I asked you before, but how do you see it going forward?
Because we don't know what's going to happen next, and we don't even know if Olympic is going to happen.
Do you think that's going to happen?
I hope.
You hope it does?
But at the same time, we need to think about Corona, and now we start, some of people receiving vaccines. So I don't know. I can't really say anything about it, but what do you think?
Yeah, come on, yeah. That's a good segue. Come on. What do you think?
Corona, yeah, definitely.
It's a hard question.
Yeah, it makes me think a lot of things, because of people have plans for the year and like where they want to go, what they want to do, with
also
who.
affects on our work.
Yeah. But that all got, just swept, and then like we have to come up with our new plan and like how we can do this. And even when we do come up with new plan, we still have to be flexible, because you don't know when the time comes how Corona is,
Oh, so you always have the plan B.
Yes.
Just in case, because you know that it could be canceled.
I think that's how we're,
thinking
trying
all the time.
to think now.
Well, let's plan for it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's canceled.
So nothing is like
Solid.
promised.
You're
Yeah.
right.
I can't really hang out with my friends these days because for me, I can meet my friend in person anytime, but I also worry about, like, it depends on the person who worry about the corona thing. So I feel so bad to ask them to go out sometimes.
Because if they do get corona, then you could feel like it could be because they think it's because of
I
you
feel
or something
guilty.
like that.
Yes. So I can't really
So everyone isolates. They keep themselves by themselves. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, the hardest part is not being able to travel.
Yes.
Yeah.
You like to travel a lot?
Yes.
Where would you travel if you could travel?
Well, right now I would travel to the US because that's where my boyfriend is. But if I don't count the US, New Zealand. I mean, I've already been, but that's the place I always want to go back to, and I want to eventually move there.
Wow.
You mean you see living your life there?
I mean, I want to try it out to see what it's like. Because
you mean before marriage or after marriage?
It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you tell your husband, let's try New Zealand. Okay.
If I have the option, yes. Yeah, that's on my bucket list. Like live in New Zealand.
Would you ever think of living outside of Japan?
Oh, my husband is half Thai and he originally from Thailand. So one day, maybe in 3 years, I think I have a chance to go there. Okay. So yeah, I'm so excited to be there.
Well, do you mind me asking how long you've been married?
Only 1 year almost.
1 year now?
Yes, 1 year now.
Wow. You told me that you love Thai curry.
I love Thai food just in general, any spicy food. So I also like Korean food, but mostly I start cooking the Thai food these days.
Really?
So yes.
So you're a good cook? You're pretty good? Do you think you're so?
I hope. My husband likes it.
He hasn't run away yet.
No, run away yet.
Wow. Do you cook as well?
Not so much.
do you like cooking?
Yes, I do enjoy cooking.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know how people say like kitchen is, they have their own way in their kitchen, so the kitchen at home belongs to my mom.
And she keeps it that way.
She's not very like strict about other people being in the kitchen, but it's just not how I want my kitchen to be.
She's like, this is my room.
But I do enjoy cooking.
Right.
Yeah.
What about your mom? Does she cook a lot? Or she?
My dad cooked a lot. He
cooks more than mom?
Yes, he used to be a chef.
Oh, really?
At the Empire Hotel.
Okay.
Do you know? I think.
Empire Hotel.
Empire? Tokyo Empire Hotel.
Empire.
Tokyo
Empire Hotel. Where is that? Where's the Tokyo Empire Hotel? Emperor Hotel?
Empire.
The Emperor. Where is it? Is it? Where is it located? Do you know?
It's a
Hibiya?
popular one.
Is it by Hibiya?
I think he went to
Empire Hotel.
Shinagawa.
Shinagawa.
I think around the
Okay,
area.
I'm not familiar with it though.
Yes.
Empire Hotel.
Empire Hotel.
Okay.
Am I right? I will search about
it. Doesn't matter. Maybe you can. I can.
But he's really good at cooking, and sometimes he cooked whenever every time I got sick, he cooks something for me, and I remember he makes some really delicious, like nice yasashi soup for me.
How would it be yasashi? I've never heard that term used for soup.
Really?
It's like
that's used all the time.
Like
yasashi. Comfort. Did they say that? Really?
Taste.
Yeah, yasashi.
Can you use yasashi for any food?
For like flavor is yasashi.
Yasashi.
Like
okay.
tender?
Okay, tender, okay.
Yeah.
Soft, mellow, that's kind,
But since he's just a one-time cooking, and he just put everything he wants, so
like a nabe?
Like nabe.
Like nabe,
so I asked him, like, please cook like the last soup that you cooked last time, and he was like, I don't know how to cook.
He said, I don't know how to cook.
He doesn't have any recipe. He just
that's what he's doing. Does.
So I was like, okay, I just really miss that soup.
The yasashi soup.
I really want that one more time.
Tell me this. What are some of the last thoughts you have before we wrap this up? What are some thoughts you have? Or if you have any more questions.
I have so many more questions.
Well, you have so many. We'll just try. You have some time. We have some time.
What is your favorite book?
Oh.
My favorite book, I think, right off the top of my head, I think Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I enjoyed that book. It isn't my, well, I guess it's one of my favorite books. As a Man Thinketh. What was this other one? It's not favorite if I can't think of the name. But let's say those two. I like those two. And
Do you
what
like
else?
deep thoughts book?
Yes, I
Like
do.
the
But right now I'm
psychology,
trying to do the stuff.
philosophy.
Yeah, I like psychology. I love that. And matter of fact, because I meditate in the morning and at night, I enjoy deep thought. But I've done so much of it I'm trying to do now instead of think so much. Do the thoughts I've had instead of just thinking about it. Because I've done a lot of thinking about it. And it's hard to get out of your head sometimes. I want to put it into action. I'm doing it now. So instead of watching the movie, I want to create the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
don't
think
want
people who start thinking a lot, like me, like I know
But
what
you're at the right age to be doing that.
I just keep thinking, but I can't do anything.
And you're not doing it. You're right. You're thinking. And you
so
might.
that's why people do meditation.
To get out of your head.
Exactly.
Okay, I did it. Now let me do it. I used to always say when I saw travel movies or the lifestyles of different people, instead of me watching, I don't want to be the one doing that. I don't want to watch someone jump out of a plane. I want to jump out of the plane. So that's what I'm doing now. That's why you see me get up in the morning, every morning, playing my sax, because I've enjoyed that music for so long and been brought to tears by hearing people play music, that I want to have the joy of being able to do that someday. Because you came in and listened to me and you had tears in your eyes. Was it because I sounded so good?
Yes.
No.
That was beautiful.
You were crying and you said, look, I got to get out of here.
No.
I got to go. I can't take this. Those aren't the kind of tears I want. I want tears of joy.
Well, that's good. But I heard focusing on something make you not think about it.
I agree.
Yes, that's
I
why
agree
in
with that.
meditation you focus on your breathe, like your breathing, and just focus on what you're doing now, and just be present. And just sit there and quiet and do nothing but focus on just one thing.
I like that really at night. Helps. There's a meditation I listen to where she says, okay, now your day's finished. You're out of the office. What's done is done. Regardless if you had a good day or a horrible day, it's finished. It's in the past. And to give that kind of finality to it, to where it just, and it really is, you'll never get it back. But to have someone tell you that every night, I enjoy that. I also like the way she wakes you up. I listen to it in the morning and she says, today you're starting a brand new day. You might know some of the things you're going to do today, but you don't know everything. There's some wonderful experiences
That makes you
and
excited.
advantages. And I go, yes. Because you're always, aren't you? I mean, I find throughout my life, I used to always be waiting for that day I'm going to win that big lottery, or something great's going to happen. That can happen any day.
Right.
And the day that happens, you didn't expect it.
No.
So why can't this be the day today?
As long as you're moving forward and do something.
It's going to happen one of those days, so why not today? And the fact that you're just breathing, that you still have this instrument we call a body to use today. I was in one training once where the facilitator asked each person, what does it take for you to be happy? One guy answered, another $3 million.
Really?
No, yeah, it was a class.
Mean,
it was a class of guys.
he
No, but this is a class of guys that were already pretty wealthy. So he said another $3 million. Another guy said, to land this deal I'm working on right now. One guy got up and said, he said, what does it take for you to be happy each day? He said, to wake up above ground. And the facilitator said, there's one of you in here that's guaranteed to enjoy each day. Because it's almost guaranteed if he wakes up and he's not dead, he's going to have a good day. Because that's what he said. All he needs is to wake up and still be alive. That's all it took for him to feel good. So each of us have criteria for what's going to make us feel good. But your ideas are infinite. That's up to you how you decide to think.
Yes.
right? And when you realize that can be unlimited, no matter what happens. There's a story I told someone the other day about this little boy that was on the bus, and there were these bullies on the bus. And this little boy sitting down, he was getting ready to stand up, and the bullies pushed him back down. The little boy tried to stand up again, and the boys pushed him down. And then they held him there, and the little boy looked up at them and said, "You might be holding me down on the outside, but inside, I'm standing tall."
Oh, wow. How cool is that?
Because of his thoughts. He can choose whatever you want to think.
Yeah.
Isn't that
It
interesting?
all
Yes.
depends on you.
On how
This
you
is so
decide.
powerful.
One person you give him $1 million and he feels broke and poor. Another person you give him ichimanyen. I hit the jackpot. I hit the jackpot.
Oh my gosh, I'm type of.
Yeah.
Is that?
I'm
Definitely the
that
latter
type of
one, yeah.
person.
But you see what I'm saying? It depends on what you consider to be your goals. What you have. Well, I want to thank both of you for being on this, to being a part of this podcast. You've made my day. This is the untold pleasure
Same.
that I would know.
Yes,
You know,
likewise.
and I think it's wonderful. For all of you that are watching this, I want to thank you for watching. Make sure you press that subscribe and like button. And remember that it's all unknown and to reach for the stars.